Okay, let's see. Rachel was doing a basic, what she called a basic weave, which makes sense. So we've just got our stitches. Mine's not going to be very thick because I'm just filling in this little corner of my sampler. That's cute. I suppose I should use a different colour, shouldn't I, to weave with. Alright, secure this down. Oops, pulled it tight. Don't want to pull it too tight, but I have. Okay. What will we use? Yeah, let's use that. Now I think with weaving, I just didn't finish watching what Rachel was doing because I went, oh yeah, that's right, I remember doing it when we did it with Anne. A blunt needle is a good idea because we're going in amongst the threads, aren't we? Let me find a smallish but blunt needle. That's not, they're all relatively sharp. That blunt needle's way too big. Oh, okay. Guess we're just using what we've got here. Forget the blunt needle bit. And you can also always, of course, use this edge to go in and out. Right, so I'm going to want, sorry, I didn't even watch Rachel's. I'm going to be making this. I'll come up from the back here. And you're going to go under, over, and let's do it with the back of the thing so I'm not accidentally pinching the thread. Under, over, under, over, under, over, whatever, whichever way it works. So this last one I came over, so I need to go under. Use the back of the needle. Under, over, under, over, under. So we're getting some weaving happening. Now I've got to work out if I'm going to do it all this colour. I like being able to see a bit of the threads underneath, but I think like in traditional rugs and things, probably the idea is not to see the backing threads. But I kind of like it, the idea of seeing them a little bit. Just push them up a bit. I'm not doing it very tight. There we go. So when we're coming back, it's under, over, under, over. Over, under, under, over, under. And so on. Under, I'm not going to use that pointy bit. Under, over, under. Fiddly things. These fiddly things, I should have used a big one. There, so you get how that works. Now I remember doing this on the tags with Anne, and I remember we did a few in some bits of material, but then we added some other things in. So let's try a bit of that. like, what about this? That didn't play well when it was a needle, but it might play well when it's like this. Maybe not. Who knows? No, that's not going to work. I need a big eye for this one. Right, this is my other one. So a bit of this satin that we used up the top there that was very hard to work with and didn't play nice. I might just not, so alright, so I might just come in and do the pattern, but leave that edge poking out. Come back under, over, under. Like that. Endless ideas that you can have. And I'd say that I might use couching as a way to get the ends secure on this. So what if I use this red to couch down those ends? So I only did one little strand of couching. I've just gone through that thread, that satin there a little bit. You probably you wouldn't do that on a work that you're doing, but I think that this is always about having a bit of a play and it's not meant to be perfect. We all say that. It's not. Unless you're a perfectionist and you want it to be, which is okay. All right, let's just couch this end down. All right, last time we came under, so now we're coming back up here. So I'm just going to finish this weaving. Can't stay on task to save myself. All right, over, under, over, under, over. Honestly, what am I even doing? 1,000 things at once. Right, so under, over, under, over. Can I get one more in? Let's see. Probably. I think the idea is that you can scrunch them up a bit. All right. Now, I don't think I'm doing any more, so what I'll do is I'll just come down there on that end one, and then I've finished my little weaving. Look, it's like a little pocket. Oh, there you are. There's an idea. It's like, oh, I've made a little plant holder, pot plant holder. I'm going to put something in there. There you are. That's an idea. Wasn't even planning it. Just happened. Here's the other. Right, see, there we are. It's like shiny objects too close. I don't know what that bit's doing. This is the other bit I've been doing. But this might work on here. Right, so this was another one. It was a circle from a jelly plate, and I've been adding in some of my little reverse appliques that I was doing after the tag with Anne that we were doing. So I've added them on, which has created a bit more room on the circle and some stitching through the circle. And then I added one of Huss's pockets off his shirt. Remember I ripped up all his shirts that he wanted me to send to the op shop because look, it's just such beautiful linen. But I thought that the pocket was interesting because he likes all this and it's a bit, you know, I guess I can't say Middle Eastern, he's Somalian, it's not Arabic, but similar kind of designs, bits of sequins and bits of sewing. So I've incorporated a little bit of that, so I might use this in my evening playtime. I should actually, this should all be on a Thread Thursday. I'm really messing up my messing my systems. I will do a Thread Thursday because someone asked me about my little stitch book. So I'll do a Thread Thursday. It's been a while, I know. Wasn't inspired, had a bit of time off. Now I'm just, I don't know, I feel like that now that the house is empty. There you go. If only I hadn't blanket stitched that down, I could have got that in under and held it in there. I'm really going off track here. But I think it's cute. I'm actually going to sew it on. Have I got a needle and thread? Yes, I have. I'm going to talk about getting off track. That's the way my brain works. All right, I'm securing a little star in the little basket because that makes me laugh. All right, oh, so that's where it's going. That's where it's going, like that. So, and you know why I'm doing this. It's like, it's a wrap because I was watching Gina from Gina B Silk Works, and she's also doing a project for maybe the year. I'm not sure if it's the whole year, but she's doing buttons, and I think I'm going to do some. So I was watching her do this beautiful gold wrapping, and so there it is. I've done my first button. It's not even a button. I had to order some. I've ordered some eBay again, ordered some wooden buttons. Who knows how long they'll take to get here from China, but I'm going to do that project. I just might be a bit slow starting if I wait for the... They're called lasts, the wooden button lasts. Here we go. What have we done? Bullion, couching, blanket, weaving. What's the last one? Turkey stitch? No, that's the wrong one. Here we are. Turkey work. Oh. Now, if ever we have another one that takes a while, it's turkey work. And I'm going to go on, I know how I did it with, where's my, oh, Christina, get your, I haven't even had chocolate. All right, here and here. We've done two different types of turkey work. This was velvet stitch, which is very similar, and you cut it right down flat on the sampler. And this was turkey work. And it's beautiful, but there is a way to do it so you secure down the threads so that they don't... Look at it on the back though. It's actually quite nice. But yes, you do, there's a way you do it so you don't... that's a bit messy, this one. It secures each little loop. So I'm going to go and watch Rachel doing it and see how Rachel does it. And then I'll have a go. One sec. Okay, it was good I went back and watched. I knew Rachel was not going to do the anchored down version, and I haven't done that, so I'm going to do it her way. And I was good I went back and watched, because I hadn't, as you know, I said I hadn't watched the weaving. So of course I discovered that Rachel did a whole heap of other weaving as well. And she did woven rose. She started with spider's web, but then it ended up being a woven rose. So there are a couple of different types. So woven roses. I liked the idea of doing the what was it? The two go over three and over. So she had the 3 and 3, and so she went over the 3 and under the 3, and then back over the 3 and under the 3, and that created a whole different look. Right, so this is the way Rachel does it, just lots and lots of little loops, and so tightly packed that they won't go anywhere once they've been, once you've finished it and cut them. But I want to have a look. I'll go back and look at Kathy's and have a look. Maybe, see, I notice the way that when Rachel does this, that hers do all stand up quite high, but this is the way, with the little secured, with the you know, just making sure they don't, it's actually on an angle when they're, I mean, you're probably meant to fluff it up like that. I guess that it wouldn't matter, but I'm thinking that it's very easy for them to sit down like that when they're anchored down. The other method, which I noticed Rachel was talking about, Sarah maybe does it that way. Anyway, I haven't done it this way before, so this is a little bit of a go at this. And I'm using this variegated thread and just using my thumb to hold down the loop. And I guess if you were really good at this, you could really get shorter loops from the start. But I always think it's easy to hold them down, isn't it? I haven't done a lot of turkey work. I think it's the sort of thing that, doing it this way probably, I might do it a little bit more if I don't have to do the anchoring. Because the anchoring is like, you know, if you're watching television and you're not looking at your work and you're knitting and you miss a stitch and five rows later you realise you've got to fix it. Maybe anchoring it down is a little bit like that. You've got to watch what you're doing. This is the variegated thread I'm using, and I'm using all 6 strands. I'm not sure what the system is here. Just pack them in, I guess. Try and work out where you're going. Come back because it's a bit boring to watch all of it. Right, I'm just at the very end, finishing off a couple more loops. It's actually gotten so congested on the back it's hard to get the needle through. But it's better that it's thick, that's for sure. There we go. I reckon one more in here if I can get the needle in. Maybe 2. Might as well try. Okay, now comes the fun part. I must admit, just doing the loops like that without securing was a lot easier and quicker. Covering all the loops if I can. I might make this relatively short. Of course, if you make it super short, it probably is more like that velvet stitch that I showed you before. A couple in here I've gotten a little bit short. there were moments with this that I liked how it was looking just as it was. When it was like a half circle with all the loops, it looked like the top of a flower. Quite liked that. Might explore that when we do our panels, which everyone's starting, so I better get a wriggle on. Okay, how am I going here? A few more little loopies. All right, let's see how short. Might be a bit too short. Got carried away. Definitely looks like a little pom-pom. One loop there at the back. I guess this is what hairdressers learn. How not to make it all uneven. How to keep it neat and even. Probably requires a good eye. Probably could fiddle with that all day. Look at that mess. Don't think that's probably not good for the Ort jar. All right, just one little. Oh, I'm going to stop after this, or else I'll just keep going, and then it'll be velvet stitch. No, there's just a bit more there. Stop, stop, stop. I can't help. It's, oh gosh, it's just, you just want to keep going. All right, there it is. So there are all the stitches. I'm going to go and probably do a little bit more because I noticed when I did, I hadn't watched, of course, the rest of the video. When I went to watch the turkey work, discovered I could probably do some extra stitches, as I probably already said, but that was this morning and now it's later in the afternoon. So I'm going to do one or two more of weaving stitches. That's what I'm going to do. Here's one way to get rid of all these little fibres, a bit of sticky tape. So just stick to the wool. Or a bit of masking tape. You can probably use masking tape, will be a little bit bigger. Get more of it quickly. Okay, that's good. All right, let's do spiderweb. So we want 5 spokes. Have to be uneven. First one wasn't as long as it could have been. All right, let's just pretend that first one doesn't exist. We'll just go over it so it's hidden. Now I just see. Now there's this sort where you go around every second one to get this. So there's a few different varieties. You could go around every stitch to create all these raised ones, but this one I've only gone over double wrap on every second one. So there's 8 on that. So that's actually that's an even number. I think it's the woven rose that has the uneven number. So that's what I'm doing, a woven rose. So we come up over, under, and then when you get back to here, you're going, see it was over on this one, so now you're going over this one and under that one. So it creates a pattern that's opposites. Just have to continually remind myself that that little one at the top is not meant to be there. And you just keep going around and round until you've filled it up. So I've watched Diana Vingert doing these quite a lot. So if you want to go and check out her page, quite a few woven roses. Over, under. So you get the idea with that one. Alright, let's try the woven one. Just changed needles. Alright, so it's basically you've got 8 spokes. So start with the first 4. And then you just halve each of those. I think this is also how they do a Dorset button. I mean, I think that there's probably a few varieties. If you watch Ariane Zerka, she has some where she's done a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so she's done a lot of varieties of Dorset buttons, and I'm not in her private group, paid group or anything, but I think that she does have a membership where she probably shows even more. You can probably do a search on the internet for anything you want to see. Now, is that going to be long enough? Maybe not. Just thinking. Maybe it'll be interesting to use a bit of this. It's a bit thicker, so it'll be a bit quicker. And it's variegated, so it'll give a good pattern. But I have to see if I can remember how I did this. This one, I mean, it's probably self-explanatory. Okay, so over, under, wrap around, over, under, wrap, You can't see it. Over, under, wrap around. You don't always see the pattern until you get to the end. Hopefully I'm doing it right. Oh, I really stuffed it up if I haven't done it right. Alright, so over, under, wrap around. Over, under, wrap. Over, under, wrap, over, under, wrap. So provided it looks sort of what I'm looking for, I think it'll be good. Over, under, wrap. Hang on, over, under, wrap. Yeah, I think it's not showing as well as it probably could if it was on maybe thinner or bigger, more like wool or something like that. It's something that would have more definition. Over, under, wrap. Over, under. I think the problem is that you get to the wrap bits and there's much more when you're coming over the middle one. You know, you haven't got as much of a thickness as when you do the wrap, though. You're adding an extra here on each spoke. And anyway, I think it's looking like it's meant to. Just running out of room. Over, under, wrap. It almost, I think you could almost just do this on 4 because all you're doing is going over this one. I don't know if it's doing anything. What if you just had 4 points and just wrapped each one and went round? You're still going to have this thread going over here to here, aren't you? Fascinating stuff. Right, definitely getting a bit pressed for room now. I do want to get a bit more in because I want to get a bit of this variegated in. Get darker on the edge. There we go, I think we're getting to the end. Okay, at the start I thought maybe I'm doing that wrong, but that's what it's always like with these ones. It's not till you get right out to the outer bit that you start to really notice the pattern. I don't know where I started. I'm going to do this to finish it, but you know what? I think now the buttons are too big. A little bead. I need a little bead. Maybe one of these tiny weeny little doll's buttons. Now, yellow, maybe. There is a green, but it's very lime green. Maybe we'll just use yellow. Now, just realising this is going to be the wrong needle. So I'm just going to come up through here. And I'm going to see if this one goes through. Yeah. Now, see if this will thread through this one. Sometimes it's a little bit of a juggle. This is what I felt like doing on this one. Of course, you do not have to do this. There, little button. So it would be a button on a button if it was a Dorset button. Okay. All right, here we have our 16 to 20 stitches. We've got the bullion knots. Oh, where's the other one? Right, so we started here with the bullion knots. These were the last episodes. We've got the couching, bullion knots, couching, blanket stitch, weaving, and there are many other ways to do weaving, and turkey work, pom-poms. So that's it for this one. Now I can get on to the next one, which is the first panel. And in fact, I'll probably revisit my front page as well, because everyone's been doing a particular style, and mine, of course, I just did it my way, as I always do, got ahead of myself and didn't see that everyone was doing a particular circular style, and Rachel would probably say that doesn't matter. And I don't think it does either, but there's a little bit of a challenge in doing that, so I might do that. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.